Alrighty then. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Percy. So before we get started, I'm going to give you a couple of tips based off my experience with working with Copic markers. If you don't know what Copic markers are, they're just these very fancy, awesome, perfect, wonderful markers that are used to color like anime or just anything with. It's like a huge variety that you can color Copic markers with, but they're very professional, and yes, they are very expensive. Just gonna say that right off the bat. But they are Copic markers right here. I have a set of 72 Copic markers right here. I bought them off of Amazon as a package of 72 from the Copic Marker Company in Japan, and yes, they were very expensive, but that was okay because it was it was a whole paycheck from my job at the theater, but it's all right because they're an investment, because they help me make beautiful works of art. Anyways, before we get started, once again, the best paper I think to use Copic markers on, or any kind of markers on, is Bristol Board by Strathmore. Absolutely love it. You know, it's got the weird looking grasshopper and stuff on here and stuff like that. And another thing is, what do I outline all my Copic marker drawings with? These are Prismacolor pens, and you can buy them from Michael's. Any of these supplies can be bought at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or any wonderful art stores that you guys know of that's in your local town or local city or something like that. So these Copic markers, it's like the paintbrush tip, and then you have this side right here, which is like a square side, and there are several, okay, you need to back off, okay, and there are several different types of Copic markers, but I absolutely adore these the most. Alright, so what I do suggest, like I always suggest with when you're learning new things, is start off small. Always start off small. Like right now, I've got Steve Thompson's drawing of Mary Poppins, and you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, then you know how much I love to make my own coloring book, and I just copy Steve Thompson's art, and copy it, I just make it my own somewhat. I mean, even if you were to look at this Mary Poppins sketch right now, you would see it looks absolutely nothing like his. So I go and I recreate these images by Steve Thompson, and then I make them my coloring book just so I can practice with my Copic markers. Best way to start with Copic markers, when you're starting off to color, I always like to start with the lightest things first, so of course I'm going to go with her skin. Now the best way to start with skin, there is a package of skin tone things that you can get from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. They usually come in a package of 6 or 5 or something like that. Alright, the best way to start is always start off with your lightest color and then build on top of that. So the lightest one that I'm going to go with Mary Poppins' skin is Skin White. That's what the color of this is the name of the color. So I go in, first thing I like to do, I like to color around the eyes and everything like that. I just go in with this base color. As you see, I like to, it's like a typical, whoa, that was not dry. See, that stuff happens. See, it's just typically coloring, like a coloring book. I always go around the lines and I just fill it in. And you see how it's progressively lightening and disappearing, not disappearing, just fading. That's what I mean to say. And I go around, I start from the outside, and then I work my way in. Alright, so now that I filled it in right there, what I like to do next is go a little bit more darker. See here, alright, so I have this Skin White, and then I go a little bit darker right here. I'm going to come down here because you can't really see that when it's that close because it's not focused. It's called Barley Beige, and then I go in, and this is what I do. This is where my shading technique video comes in handy. I have to imagine where the shadows are on her face. So I imagine, you know what, there's probably some underneath her eye and her eyebrow and on top of her eyelid. So I just kind of blend those in together like that, where I just have to think, where is she getting hit by shadows? I know her nose is like that, and then of course I can go underneath her lip like this and just shade it underneath her lip. and then shade down to her chin. Now here we go. This is where I start blending. So some people have these colorless blenders. Here it is. It's a clear top, and you could go in and you could blend with this very well and everything. But what I like to do is I like to use my bottom layer of what color I use. So it's skin white, and that's when I come back on top of my darker layer and I blend that in. And I try to, like, I just took a little break for a minute to try to find my colorless blender, but I always try to blend my darker and lighter colors together when they're wet. So they're kind of drying at the moment, so this is what I would usually do. I'd go in, I'd come over here, and I know here's my shadow right here along her nose ridge and her eyelid. That's when I would come in right after I put that down. And that's when I would blend it in nice and steady with each other. You see how this part right here, it was like a good solid circle in the middle, but then the ink just like kind of went in together once it's wet. So I can come in here and I can underline this and come underneath this. And that's the thing, it's like opacity levels if you've ever had experience with digital painting on the computer or anything like that. When you put layers on top of layers, it does generally get darker. So I could come in like this, like that, and just imagine where all my shadows are. And of course, she's probably got shadows underlining her hair, around her face, and of course we got a shadow underneath her face, overlapping her neck, and probably down here off the side. Okay, and that's when I would jump in with this and I'd blend it all in. Okay, so you see I've got my two first layers down, and then I want to put a little bit more darker lines around her and a little bit more shading and everything. I'm going a little bit more darker right here with light suntan, and this is like, I think these are the three of the main ones that come in the package of 6 or 5 that you can purchase at Michael's and stuff like that. So that's when I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna lightly just go around, and I'm just gonna darken up a few places like her eyelids. She doesn't really wear eyeshadow as much because she's classy. And then I'm just gonna come in and figure out where my shadows are once again. And then that's when I'm going to jump back to my skin white and blend it in together. But first, that's an option. But then you have the colorless blender option, which I am going to jump in and use. And like I said, it's just colorless. Nothing's going on. Like that. But here's the thing that I don't like about the colorless blender. You probably can't see what I'm seeing, but right now it's really washing out this section pretty bad. You probably, like, if you're not this close and it's like eyeball view, like I'm seeing it with my eyes at the moment because it's right in front of me, it's washing out this line, and it's like, it feel like these are alcohol based and everything, and I feel like the alcohol is just pushing it like away from the original line, which I don't like colorless blenders for that reason. So I'm not going to use it again. So that's why I like to come in with my actual main layer of skinless white and everything. See, I just covered up the section that the alcohol colorless blender just killed. So I go in with my actual first layer of the color I'm using. See, I really don't like the colorless blender at all. Alright, and I just go overlap that. But that's the reason why I don't like using those. Anyway, so that's when I can come in with a little bit of color, and I'm just gonna go on top of my main base layer, and of course it's her cheek, so I'm gonna go underneath her eye and around. Same over here, underneath her eye and around to her cheeks. Okay, and then I jump back in with my skin white, which is my original color, and then that's when I come over it and blend it in like that. Now I'm going to teach you a fun trick with hair for a quick second. So what I'm going to do is, since I do have a large collection of Copic markers, I have chosen the color mustard to go as the bottom layer of Poppins's hair. Poppins's. So so I have this mustard color, and then what I want to do is I'm going to jump back over to a dark suntan. So here's my base color. I'm going to leave it right here, close to me, so I can come back to it. And then I'm going to come in. See, it's still wet, so I just start over. I just imagine where those curls are in her hair. And I just come in, still leaving my base layer and everything like that. Can come in with this, make it blend in a little bit more, just to fill it in. Coming in with another darker color, and I'm just trying to, you know how hair starts off nice and it starts off dark, and then as it hits light, there's like a midpoint where you see more light and everything. Where it's gathered, it's darker. Like that. Now here's a really fun trick that I've come to find. So I went into my colored pencil box and I pulled out my dark brown Prismacolor pencil right here. So what I do is, this is mixed media basically. So I can go in and I can individually make little itty bitty hairs like that. Alright, and then this is where it gets another interesting fun moment with hair and Copic markers. So what you just saw me do was use a dark brown pencil on her hair. Okay, so here's our lineup so far for hair, right there. Now this is when I can come in with a white gel pen, which you can also buy at Michael's, and I can come in and I can do some highlights here and there. When I can jump over to my skin and I can give little white highlights here and there as well. I can jump over to her nose and I can highlight this part even though it is already pretty white. Like that. I can jump over here and outline the ridge of her nose, eyebrow, just giving it nice little white spots here and there. I can do her lips and I can add shine to her lips as well. So I'm going to jump over back to my pink marker. And I'm just going to completely color in her lips like this. Alright, so I have my pink lips, and then I can jump over and I can get a darker pink, which I'm picking Shock Pink. So that'll be fun. So I go in and I highlight the corners of my lips once again. Okay, so I put those, but I still leave little itty bitty spots of just the pink. And then I get another darker color, which I'm going to pick Carmen. For a second I was like, Camille? What the heck is that? So I come in right here and I just outline the corners of her lips and like the outline of her lips, like she's got lip liner on almost. Like that. Alright? Then I can jump in back with my white gel pen and I can gently highlight some pieces of her lips. Like I can highlight there and I can highlight right there, like that. And of course, white gel pens come in lots of handy. Lots of handy. So I'm going to jump in with my aqua because Julie Andrews has beautiful blue eyes. And that's the person who plays Mary Poppins. I am going to jump in with Antwerp Blue. And I'm just going to outline her eyes like that. So I can jump in and I can give her pupils like this. I jump in with my Prismacolor fine tip marker, and they do have different sizes of tips for fine point like this. And then I can go in with my white gel pen and I can outline it, her pupils, with my white gel pen. And I can come off the side right here and right here, here and here, and just give more bits and pieces of beautiful eye shine. You know, go crazy, get creative. Okay, for example, here's Snow White. So let's say I want to add just a little bit of color to her, just a little bit, just to fill it in a bit here and there. So that's when I would jump over, and I think these do, I'm almost positive these come in a package. I have a bunch of cool grays right here. There's 3 cool grays. So I could come in, just because I want to fill it in and add a little bit of color to her, a little bit here and there, I could come in like this, and I could just add a bit shadows and stuff, and it just fills it in. It makes it look so much nicer. It's just it's a more of a professional look to your sketches and everything. Anyways, you just could come in and make it just nice and full, and it just blends in so much better on top of the ink. And of course you can come back, I mean, you could color this first and then come in with your black ink pens and just fill it in. But it just gives some nice, good colors. And of course you can do this on tan tone paper as well, or gray tone paper. I mean, you couldn't use gray on that because of hello. Probably, I don't know. It's nice, just fill it in, and the paper's taking it nicely. But there you go, guys. It's just a really fun way of coloring, and if you ever want to experience with Copic markers, once again, you can find them on Amazon, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or any local art stores around and stuff like that. But yeah, they are a ton of fun. I'm really glad that I did buy them and I invested in them and everything, and I'm really happy that they're back in my life, because I did lend them out to a friend and I finally got them back. That's what they're really nice. My friend did use them for costume design, so Copic markers are very nice for costume design. And I actually, if you follow one of these girls on Instagram, she actually uses her Copic markers on watercolor paper. And I thought that's really interesting, but it's so nice because then that way the paper just absorbs the marker better, and it's probably nice to blend with and everything, but I haven't tried it out. I'm sticking with my Bristol board, my smooth surface Bristol board, just because I really do enjoy using it and everything. But yeah, I hope this was helpful with Copic markers. I did teach you the 2 top things when it comes to blending and stuff like that, is Copic markers with hair and skin. I know they're very hard, but it is all basically just layers. It's just layers on top of layers, and you start your lightest and go with your darkest, and then blend in with your lightest. That's the trick with Copic markers. Love you guys. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I will talk to you all later. Bye!